Welcome back to Slippery Rock. It is the first game of the 2012 season on the Westmoreland Sports Network as Seton Hill takes on the Rock. And our first player interview of 2012 with quarterback Ryan Morris. And Ryan, first of all, let's reflect back on last season. I know it's not a season that the team wanted as far as wins and losses go, but kind of talk about how you guys as an offense progressed through last season along with the offensive line. I know you kind of split some time with DJ Lenahan last year, but just kind of talk about how you guys gelled towards the end of last season, how you can kind of build on that this past spring in camp and now in the first game.
Exactly. Last season we did progress. It was my first year here, so at the beginning of the season I was really just worried about learning the playbook, things of that nature. And as the season went on, I felt like receivers and I got our timing down, and the O-line, made strides towards being a solid unit up front. And given the off-season, the spring ball, I think our offense will be much improved, as well as bringing in some transfers at skill positions. We're going to be an explosive offense, and I think we'll put it together tonight.
And I want to ask you about those transfers in just a moment, but how much more comfortable, you mentioned last year was your first year here at Seton Hill. You had to learn the playbook. A lot of thinking probably had to be done, but now you kind of have the understanding of the playbook through the spring and now through camp and everything. How much more comfortable do you feel now that you can just go out and play?
It's really night and day, actually. When I came in here, I was, my first start, I was still worried about the protection, the call, things of that subject. And this year, it's really more of a overall scheme. I understand all what we're doing. It's more of what the defense is doing, little tendencies they do, call audibles at the line. I'm much more comfortable, and I think it'll show this year.
This year you mentioned about the transfer receivers. You also mentioned that you had some chemistry built up with the receivers from last year. George Valdovinos, obviously you guys hooked up a number of times, but you don't return one starter this year. So kind of talk about the guys that you have coming in as transfers, your starters, DJ Carter, Henderson, Nico Hall-Brown, and some others, and kind of how you are with them as far as chemistry goes.
Yeah, we're getting our timing down. Camp's always important for a quarterback and receivers. We stay after practice, get our timing down. DJ Carter, Darvin Henderson, they're seniors just like me, so they're real urgent about this year. They're real talented, so I'm excited about those two. Lance Williams, Nico Hall-Brown, they're experienced but young. And we got a transfer by the name of Mike Allen. He'll play a slot as well. And, I'm real excited about all of our skill positions. They're learning the playbook still, like what I was going through last year. And, I think once we get our timing down, it'll be a nice show to see.
Ryan, you took a lot of hard hits last year behind a young offensive line. You return all 5 starters on the offensive line. Viewing it from where you stand, how much have they improved so far this year with, of course, them being like a year more in the system?
I think the biggest improvement I can see is just their overall maturity as far as physical and mental. Last year we had a couple freshmen starting up front, and it's always first game you can see their wide eyes. This year they're more comfortable. You can tell their bodies are developed. We did take a hit with losing Zach Buffkin during camp to an ACL injury, but that gives opportunity to others to step up, and I'm excited what they can do out there this year.
Now, talk about the running game. Going to take some pressure off you. Of course, it all starts with the offensive line, but you have a new transfer in there, and you also, of course, have some other guys. Derek Dyer is going to be back there as well. Kind of talk about where your backfield is right now.
Taven Davis, he's a fellow captain with me, and he's come in and been a great leader for us, hard worker. You'll see tonight he's pretty fast as well. Derek Dyer, you saw him a lot on special teams last year. He made some big plays, and I let him know this year I'm counting on him as an offensive player as well. So those two, along with Trey Cook, they're going to be a solid unit for me, and I'm excited for them as well.
Ryan, last season, obviously, it was such a tough season for Seton Hill, but do you notice anything different around the team, again, in the spring and during camp so far, and now coming into the first game tonight? Do you notice any kind of different feeling around the team coming into this season, maybe compared to last season?
I'm sure the coaches can attest to this as well. During the spring, the work ethic was second to none. You know, guys came and worked real hard, morning runs, lifting, spring ball. You know, there wasn't any let up. You know, there was a sense of urgency. As far as fall camp, I think one thing that helps is there's a lot of senior leadership. You know, this is our last year, so it's important for us to come out. We had a meeting last night, and you know, seniors just have voiced their opinion about how important this is to us. We've worked 4 or 5 years, some of us, to get to this point. And there's just that sense of urgency, which I think people will notice this year in the stands.
You go up against Slippery Rock here tonight. Kind of put one on you last year, 51-14, the first game of the season. But kind of talk about what you've seen from them on film and what they like to do defensively and what you guys have to do offensively to be successful.
I've played Slippery Rock multiple times with my time here and at Cal U, and they really don't change. They run a 4-3 or a 50 front, some base coverages, but they do all what they do very well. They're a solid team, very physical, well coached. So you know, we're gonna have to bring our A game to make it a good game, and I think that's a task we're gonna hold up to.
Ryan, good luck tonight against Slippery Rock. Go get win number 1, and good luck this season.
All right, thank you very much.
Ryan Morris, quarterback for the Seton Hill Griffins. We'll be back on the pregame show. I have starting lineups for you coming up next on the Westmoreland Sports Network.